Mark, thank you for coming in today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Miss Bogino.
So, Mark, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I'm going to make a few notes if that's okay with
Okay,
you.
that's all right.
Mark, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, one thing when I try to talk about myself a little bit, I kind of talk a little bit about my upbringing. Why am I the way that I am? Parents taught me a lot about the importance of work ethics. Also, they talked to me about integrity and about being a good person and the importance of getting along with people. They've also taught me a lot of things about the importance of learning and that every day you've got to find ways to improve yourself. So I call myself an aggressive learner, and that is when I'm on the job, I'm continuing to learn.
Tell me about a time when you had to handle a difficult situation with an employee and how that turned out.
The first thing I always do is sit down with the employee, away from everything, and the important thing is to sit where it's quiet, where you can talk. Communication is so important when you're dealing with an employee, and you have a chance to sit down and talk about the problem, but more importantly, you spend your time listening. Why did the employee do this? And then at an appropriate time, you give them your feedback. The most important thing is not necessarily the discipline. The important thing is to make sure that you focus on job performance and job improvement. If it's happened 3 or 4 times, then that's a discipline problem. Then what we need to do is sit down and document the problem, and then what we have to do is try to find the solution.
Why do you think you want to work for our company?
Oh, well, as you can see by the notebook I have here, I've researched your company a lot. And I've gone through the website, and I've also had a chance to talk to several people that work in the company, and I hear positive things all the time about your company. The company is a growing company. One big point that comes out all the time when I'm talking to employees is that they're so positive about your management team, the culture that you have developed, and you've developed a culture where you're constantly emphasizing the importance of improvement and constant training, and I think that's very, very important.
What about some of your weaknesses?
Okay. Well, one of the weaknesses I thought I had about 4 or 5 years ago was my computer skills. So what I did was I took several courses, and I learned more about computers. I not only just took a Word class, I also took an advanced Word class. I also have learned a lot about Outlook. I've learned a lot about social media now. And this weakness actually is a strength now. I find myself, especially late in the evening, I'm sitting down and practicing on a lot of these software programs, a lot of the networking challenges that are out.
Do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm looking for a career. So I want to make sure that if I decide and I'm offered a job here, I would love to keep working for this company. But the most important thing is that I want to make sure that I continue to be a contributor to this company. I work really, really hard to make myself more valuable. I want to make sure that I'm also in the company that I end up working for, that I continue to grow and take more job responsibilities. But when you look back, and then the person that ends up hiring me says, "Boy, that was a good hire."
Why do you feel that you'd be a good manager?
Okay. Well, I think in management, it's important in management and in leadership that I am consistent. And I think that's what I am. People know where I'm coming from. One thing, too, is that the people that work for me really enjoy their job. They enjoy working with me. And it's that type of attitude that hopefully goes down to the hourly employees. And I think that everyone that's worked for me, I think that's one thing that they can say about me. One is that my energy level, my enthusiasm. But the fact is, I really enjoy the job, and I'm consistent from day to day.
Questions for me, Mark?
Yes, I prepared some questions last night when I was preparing for this interview. Yes, one question. Can you talk a little bit about your training program? I read about it a little bit in the on your website, but do you have ongoing training programs?
Absolutely. Of course, as you know, we will do an orientation when you come on board, both a general orientation, and then in your department you'll get another orientation. But after that, we also will do some assessments with you and find out where you might have some strengths that we can both utilize and learn from. And then we'll place you in a career development training program.
There's a pretty good chance if I take this job, I'll be working for you. Now, what kind of boss are you?
Well, I'm an excellent boss. I like to think that I'm a fair boss.
Right.
And I'm a hands-off. I'm not a micromanager. So I let you make many decisions, and I understand that people make mistakes, and that's the way you learn.
What do you think, what do you like about this company?
Well, I, of course, like the training and the growth opportunities as well.
Mhm.
We have a great attitude about
Mhm.
employees being our most important asset, and that's really the biggest thing I like about this company.
Great, great. Well, I think that's all I have. You answered a couple of questions here that I wrote down, but I think that's all my questions.
Great. Mark, it's been a pleasure, and we'll be getting in touch with you in the next week or so.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you.